Working right. So this is the first time I've tried to do a live from my laptop. The sound might not be amazing. So as I move a little bit further away, I'll try. Oh, hello. Has it only just started? All right. Okay. So this is the first time I've tried to do a live from my laptop. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but anyway, I've ordered a microphone. It's just going to take a while to get here. So apologies if the sound isn't amazing. I thought I'd try and do some lying down stuff today because that's kind of what I feel like doing. Um, I wanted you to be able to see me properly, and my portal. I haven't worked out how to use the bloody thing yet. So anyway, right. So what I'm gonna. So I'll just quickly. Go through a couple of things. I'm gonna just kind of do these little 20-minute freebies every day for those who are interested. You can always catch up on them afterwards, and it's as much about me learning how to use the technology as anything else. But if it brings up any questions, or if you are interested in doing a regular class, I think I'm going to go back to Zoom once I've got my microphone, and I'll probably do a couple of proper full-length classes that are interactive and more personal. And yeah, I'll talk about those options if you are interested. I'm going to send a newsletter out soon. What else? Yeah, so like I say, lying down stuff today. I'm going to do some Katie Bowman stuff. You might want a couple of blocks or cushions or whatever to bolster up. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is ribs. So when I'm lying down and doing stretches lying down, my rib cage tends to lift up quite a lot. So I use bolsters to make it easy for me to passively rest in good alignment. Okay, so all right, so you'll see I've got a yoga bolster here. It doesn't have to specifically be a yoga bolster. I chatted to a client this morning and she used one of the cushions off the sofa. So whatever you've got, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to use something else for my head. Again, I have a dome. You don't have to use a dome. You could use a block, another cushion, whatever. Just to, as you lay down, what I'm feeling for is where my ribs are. So if I kind of, if I'm laid like that, my ribs are elevated here, so my rib cage has tipped. So in order for my ribs to be flush with my pelvis, it helps if I bolster myself up a little bit. And then a little bit of something extra for my head. Means that I can lie and passively allow my rib cage to relax into alignment so that it's flush with my pelvis. This is an exercise in itself, just kind of lying down with your ribs supported to allow your deeper core muscles like your psoas and your diaphragm to relax. Going to incorporate a couple of stretches whilst in this bolstered position. So I'm going to start by bending my knees. And you want to kind of feel that as you did that, did your pelvis change its alignment? So one reason to have your legs out straight is that it helps to keep your pelvis neutral. Can you feel that your hip bones and your pubic bone are level with each other? So if I bend my knees, my pelvis should stay the same. And then I'm going to cross one ankle over my other knee. And checking again as to whether when you pick your knee up, did your pelvis come out of alignment? Do you still have your hip bones level with each other? And then I'm going to sort of stretch my arms out a little bit because that's going to help to keep them stable. and I'm going to roll my legs to the side. Now, the fact that I've got my shoulders and my head bolstered a little bit means that I can easily get my foot to the ground. People experience this stretch differently. I'm getting quite a nice stretch here. I've got a little bit of rotation in my rib cage. If you take a couple of breaths in this position, you could use one hand to feel what your ribs are doing. Do you still have the front of your rib cage flush with your pelvis, or did twisting make your ribs pop up a little bit? Roll back, put that foot down, switch sides. So I'm going to cross my ankle over my knee. Now, if my knee drops out like that, for me personally, that tips my whole pelvis. So if I bring my hip bones back so that they're level with each other, so they're horizontal to the ground, so I've got that triangle of my hip bones and pubic bone are in a flat position. I'm not going to stay flat, obviously, because I'm about to rotate over. But basically, my knee comes a lot closer. So if my knee's out here, the chances are that my pelvis has gone out of alignment. So I'm going to roll over this way. Oh, the other thing I want you to check for is, did your other foot kind of sneak into the middle? Because that makes the movement a lot easier, but it's kind of not what we're after. So you want to leave the foot on the ground in line with your hip. And then you can roll over to the side. Let your foot rest on the ground. So you've got your toes in contact with the ground. And then roll it back. Okay, so you might find that twisting makes you slide off whatever you've got under your shoulders. So you might have to rearrange a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do a slightly stronger rotation now. So I've got my knees bent. I've got my feet flat on the ground, in line with my hips. And I'm going to shuffle my pelvis. I'm going to pick it up and slide it to the side. So I'm going to my right, and I'm going to straighten my left leg, pick my right leg up, and roll over. So again, I'm going until my toes touch the ground. You might want something underneath this foot. So if you don't have the rotation available to comfortably let your foot touch the ground, you can put stuff underneath it so that your foot is supported a little bit higher up. So now the reason I moved my pelvis was so that I could stack my hip bones kind of vertically now. So my pelvis is now stacked vertically as opposed to flat on the ground. And I have more twist in my spine. And I'm going to focus on taking a couple of breaths here as well. So I'm keeping my belly relaxed. Diaphragmatic breathing, super important, for just life in general, but particularly now when we want our immune system to be strong, we want to be in an easy, relaxed, rest or digest nervous state. So belly breathing. But the diaphragm's like a dome, so belly breathing is super important. We think about expanding the ribs as well. All right, I'm going to roll back. Rearrange the bolster a little bit. I'm going to go the other way now. So I'm going to pick my pelvis up, shift it to my left now, straighten my right leg, and roll over this way. So I'm aiming to stack my pelvis up. Don't worry if it won't go. My head and shoulders bolstered makes it a lot easier to come into this position. Use your breath and use this rotated position. So the fact that I've rotated means that we don't twist that much in life anymore unless you do a lot of yoga or you deliberately try to twist. So when we come into a rotation, your ribs might feel a little bit tighter. So it's useful to stretch the muscles that hold your ribs together, your intercostals, with your breath whilst you're in the starter position. All right, and then I'm going to roll it back. You can do various little stretches whilst in this bolstered position. So just using the fact that you've lifted the ground to you to make it easy for your ribs to relax. You can come into various hip stretches. So I'm just going to bring one leg in towards my chest. And again, I want you to feel that you're not prioritizing how far your leg comes in, because could you see my other leg lift up there? That means my pelvis moves. So if I bring my leg in closer, it needs to be just the leg. So that was no longer my leg moving. I mean, it was, but the movement came from my back, which lifted my other leg. So I only want to go to there because that means I can keep my other leg relaxed. I'm going to switch sides. If you have back issues, make sure that you kind of only pick one leg up at a time as well. So yeah, I'm going to pick the other leg up, pull it in towards me. So that, again, I'll show you again, that's too much. That's what you want to do. So as you're pulling your leg in, make sure that your pelvis didn't come with you to lift the other leg up. And I'm going to do both legs at the same time. So I'm going to pick my legs up, let my knees drop wide, and so if you fully extend your arms, so straighten your arms so that you're holding the weight of your legs with your arms, you'll find that A, your pelvis is in a much more neutral position, but also that it changes the stretch completely. So if I've got my legs here, that doesn't really, and my inner the same way. So I'm just going to let my hips rock side to side. My legs are heavy in my hands, my feet are relaxed. Okay, so something else that I've been doing with the classes so far is, a little bit of repetition is good, I think. I'm going to interlace my hands and I'm going to rotate my wrists, nice and slow. These wrist mobilizations come from my animal flow training, and I'm going to be bringing some animal flow tasters to you soon for you to get a bit of an idea. But I really think these wrist mobilizations have value whether you're wanting to weight bear on your hands or not. This is the sort of thing that's really accessible to anyone, unless you've got your hands strapped up. Sorry, Sheila. And then we're going to bring your arms out to chest height and do a wave from one side to the other. So I'm going to lift my elbow up, bring my hands together, and push it out the other side. And away. And then if you imagine a magnetic band around your wrists, we're going to aim to keep that band in contact at some point, right? So I'm going to rotate the wrist right the way around. So if I start here, I'm going to really stretch my fingers out, spread them out and splay them. Take my arms forwards, rotate so that the backs of my wrist contact, and then curl them in here. Spread, reach, stretch them out. I'm going to go back to my bolster now, and I'm going to show you some chest openers. So these are called floor angels. If you've got a shoulder injury going on, it might not feel super comfortable. So I want you to be sort of really aware of how much you rotate and whether your hands stay on the ground or not. Because if your hands are off the ground, then your arm is heavier. Obviously, you're using your muscles to hold your arm weight. Whereas if you let your hands relax on the ground and just come into the rotation, then you might find it easier. But if you're really tight, they might not reach the ground, so you might need to keep your range quite small. Let's see if you can see it. Legs out straight unless that causes you back pain, and there are some people who just don't find this position comfortable at all. So if you need to bend your knees, you can, but it's easier for your pelvis to stay neutral if you straighten your legs out. And then I'm going to take my arms to the side. Over here a bit. Oh, the sun's coming out now. It was a bit chilly earlier. All right, so I'm going to start with my arms quite close to my hips. Elbows are soft, and I'm going to spiral my thumbs back towards the ground. And then just notice whether does that make your ribs come up? So you want to make sure that your ribs stay relaxed as you spiral your thumbs back towards the ground. And you're going to make a little groove in the carpet or the floor or wherever you are. And slide your arms up and sort of feel where your limit is, where you can keep contact with the ground. Pinky finger is up towards the sky or the ceiling, depending on whether you're inside or out. Sliding my arms up. Make sure that your shoulders at the top stay down and relaxed, that your ribs stay down and relaxed. And you come into that little slide of the arm up and then back down. I do work with some people who have hypermobility in their shoulders, and it's not about the stretch for you. Actually, for you, it's the work of holding your arm. So if you rotate your arm back like this and you feel nothing, I don't want you to kind of keep going to try and find a stretch. It might be that you hold your arm just off the ground, and what you're working on is the stability. So your shoulder muscles are working to hold your arm in place rather than you looking for a stretch. You can do one arm at a time and use your other hand to feel whether your ribs are staying down, feel whether your shoulder is relaxed. So if you're moving your arm up and your whole shoulder blade is moving with you, then you want to try and keep that down. So again, that might limit the range that you use. It's a bit weird doing this on my laptop. I have no idea whether it's working or not. So I'm going to end it there. If anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to drop me a little message. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. All right. Thank you very much. See you soon, guys.